do.
I'm going to bring this up over here. Okay, I'll do it.
All right. All right, we are here. We have a tornado warning now. You're just looking up the information.
Right, if you are in Salisbury and you have your mobile phone, you noticed it probably just did a big loud tone. That is a tornado warning for the Salisbury area. It's southwestern portions of the city back down. Well, let's just go to radar here and I'll show you right where this thing is. So we'll pop up, let me see what I have here. we're going to take radar here for you. There we go. And I'm going to zoom in on this and show you what we're looking at here. First of all, this cell is the one that's just coming in to the city right now. And I'm going to pause here and look to make sure I have this correct here. And I want to look here, so give me just a second here. I want to make sure that I'm in the right spot. Okay, I see it. Yeah, okay. This cell is just northwest of Princess Anne. It's moving toward Princess Anne. It's northeast of Deal Island. It's north of Mount Vernon. So I'm going to draw on the radar here, show you just kind of about where this thing is, where they're issuing the warning for. Then I'm going to show you the velocity data, but it's this cell right in here that has some rotation in it. So let's go on here to the tornado warning. And there's the map. See the big pink? That's the tornado warning. The dark red, that's the flash flood warning for Wacomico County. We also still have the severe thunderstorm warning for the entire county. And then the dark red up to the west of that over Cambridge, that's the flash flood emergency that's in effect for Cambridge right now. And again, that's going to go until 12:30 a.m. Reports of waist-deep water up there. All right, so here's the satellite imagery. But I'm going to pause this, and you might see a little flicker because I'm going to turn on some other radar data here for us right now. So give me just a second here. There we go. I want storm relative and I want velocity. So I'm going to open that up. Okay, I've had this ready to go just in case tonight, and here it is. So I'm going to zoom way in on this. And this is storm relative right now. Okay, let me pause that. Let's put this into motion too. Okay, now I'm going to have to draw on this here. Let's go back just for the last hour here.
Working on that, just so you all know this tornado warning in effect.
There we go.
10:45 at this hour.
Right, okay, so I'm going to draw on the screen here for you a little bit, just show you where this rotation is. It's north of Princess Anne, and it's northeast of Deal Island. It's right in here, and it's basically moving off to the east. So that's why they issued that. Look at the pink box. That's why they issued this warning for where they did. Now, that is not a really strong rotation now, although I am seeing enough rotation in this to make me worried. It has just kind of, in the last few minutes, begun to spin up a little bit. And now it's a little broader, and it's still to the northeast of, well, it's just north of Mount Vernon. So those of you in the Salisbury, Fruitland area down toward Eden, it's going to pass very close to us here in the next few minutes. Now, we just had a big cell go through. I mean, a big one. That thing produced torrential rainfall. This is a separate cell that's crossing the area.
This is not the merging cells you saw earlier.
Well, yeah, it's trying to merge right now, but this is the back cell that's going to merge into the front cell. Now, let me go ahead and just go to raw velocity data now. And let me show you that here real quick. Sometimes I prefer to look at the raw velocity, especially where the storm is located right now. And okay, there we go. Now I can show you this pretty well. Do you see the red and the green right here together? Okay. Green is toward the radar, red is away, so we have a rotation right in here. It's northeast of Nanticoke. It's moving off to the east. The pink line, that's the area where the tornado warning is.
Okay.
If you have our weather app, you might be saying, well, my app didn't go off. Well, if you're in Princess Anne, if you're just north of Salisbury, it's not going to go off. It's only going to go off if you're in that pink box.
Yeah, that geolocation is very precise.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my Apple Watch started the tone before I even got it from the National Weather Service. First here, then I went over and pulled up the warning. So if you have our WBOC weather app, it went off. You probably heard Mike Lichniak's voice because he recorded a little thing on there to say tornado warning for your area. So if it went off on your phone or on your watch, our app or the emergency message from NOAA, then you're in the warning area. If it didn't go off,
camera, Salisbury University right there. You see the lightning is popping off. We're kind of looking
down there.
Are we looking in the right direction?
Well, we're not. We're looking east, but what I'm seeing is just a really really strong cell here. Look at the rain coming out of this thing. Now, that's the cell that came through here a little while ago, and that thing is mean. It is dumping incredible amounts of rain. So what you should do right now if you're in Salisbury is put yourself away from windows. Don't go outside looking for this thing. The lightning can get you, okay? Put yourself away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you have a basement, you go down to the basement.
Yeah, can we go back to the maps? I want to kind of get a closer look for people, where they live, where they really need to be concerned.
Right, well,
Hey,
we'll do
we're here in
that.
Salisbury, we're seeing the camera. If we can go down, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to see myself.
Right, and I can zoom in more here for you here, because let me just put this into
If you can
motion.
give people an idea.
Yeah, give me just a second here, and I'll just kind of set this up, and I'm going to clear that off. Okay, and then I'll zoom in on this. So now this is the velocity data again, and I can even pull in enough type. Maybe we'll pop up some other cities. There we go. Now, let me just draw a real quick
If you could, that'd be
circle.
great.
Right there is where we have the rotation. So south of Quantico, west of Eden, southwest of Salisbury, and now I can put this into motion for the last, I'm going to make it just the last, let's make it the last 45 minutes, okay? That's pretty fast, or pretty long, but you can see
But
it
that
moving
gives us
there.
an idea which direction we're going
Exactly.
as well. So now I'm seeing it go, it's kind of going to pop above north if it travels that trajectory. Could we see tornado warnings in other parts of Salisbury today?
Well, we've got it, they put it out in a pretty good spot for the
Okay.
area. It goes all the way up past Salisbury.
I see.
And I can move that where you can see, hang on a second, I'm going to do something else here. Let me just move that warning above the radar. So now you
That's going to help,
yeah, now you're going to see it. Okay, there we
Okay.
go.
Yep,
I think
that's
you're
how
going
you
to
see
see
that
where
red
it is.
line.
And I'm,
That was almost a little confusing.
Yeah,
so
I'm just
that,
gonna go
that
to
pink
right
line
now.
we're seeing covering much further north than Salisbury.
there you go.
Yep.
And now you can see right where this is, and I'm going to, again, right there is where the rotation is. And I'm going to go ahead and move this again out just a little bit. Yeah, we do have the camera up for Salisbury, don't we? This tidal health camera. Let me tell you something.
Quiet
When
there.
we have, did you notice the nonstop lightning before this thing hit?
Yes.
The heavy rain. That is a real warning sign to meteorologists. When I start seeing nonstop lightning, and not just cloud to ground, but in the storm as well, that develops because of an intense updraft, taking rain droplets, throwing them way up into the very cold part of the cloud where they turn into ice crystals. They rub against each other, and a charge separation forms, and that starts giving you lightning to the ground, in the cloud, between other clouds. And when you start seeing that much lightning, that means you have an intense updraft throwing a humongous amount of moisture way up into the atmosphere. That's going to come back down, and it's going to come back down as intense rain. That happened in Cambridge with the flash flood emergency. And while we're watching this here, let me just explain about a flash flood emergency. Normally you would get a severe thunderstorm warning, or tornado warning, or flash flood warning. In an extremely bad event where it's ongoing and there's dangerous, life-threatening flooding, they'll bump that up to a flash flood warning emergency. Those are really rare. You get a few of these in the United States a year. We had one tonight. And when it went off, I said, I need to get on the air because that's bad. And so we have that in Cambridge, and it goes to 12:30. Now, the rain is tapered in Cambridge. They're going to get a bit more. I'll back this up here and show you the radar here. So just back up a little bit more. There you go. Now, you can see Cambridge has a little cell just northwest of it. And that's not going to be a big deal for them. They're going to get some rain out of that, but it's not going to be enough to really exacerbate the flash flooding. But this cell right here is the one that has the tornado warning on it. It's trying to merge with this cell. Hasn't done it yet, but the tornado warning itself, and I'll clear this back off, is right in, there we go, right in there. So it's just southwest of the city of Salisbury. So,
Tornado warning in effect until 10:45. We've still got 15, 18 minutes or so of this warning.
I'm pulling this up here just on my phone here because it's quicker and easier to do right now. There we go. Yeah, till 10:45. And again, we are now at 10:27. We're
got
still
some
seeing some rotation in this. I just pull this up on my phone. I have a very good app on radar that I can pull it up on my phone and see what we're looking at here. And that was updated 2 minutes ago. Yeah, there's still a good rotation. Let me go back to velocity data over here and show you this here. There we go. This is, I'm going to go to raw velocity. There we go. All right, so let's clear this again, and I'll redraw it. You see the rotation is right
There
in
it is.
here,
Yep.
right there. And that thing is moving off
That's
to
moving.
the east-northeast. Now,
Yep.
a strong cell will become what we call a right mover. It'll be moving, say, northeast, and the upper level winds will be pushing it to the northeast. When a cell really gets strong and severe, it will sometimes bear to the right. So if you notice, the warning here from the National Weather Service was very good. They put that as that cell moving almost due east, and they anticipated it was going to be a right mover. It is a right mover. I've been watching it for the last couple of scans here, and it is moving. So that in mind, that rotation there is going to go right over the south side of Salisbury. It's going to go over Fruitland, and it's going to be just north of Princess Anne.
Okay.
Okay, and it's a broad rotation. I will tell you right now, it's right at the level where I think, ooh, we may have a tornado on the ground.
Okay.
Right now,
That's what I
I'd
was
say
gonna ask, what
it's
you're
a
seeing.
possible tornado. The rotation is there. If I had an EF3 tornado on the ground, it would not look like that. It would be much worse.
Okay.
So what we're looking at is this storm is rotating. It's trying to produce a tornado right now.
If you are in that area, we have a tornado warning until 10:45. Get somewhere safe, somewhere inside. A bathroom's a great place, somewhere with no windows around, obviously.
Exactly. If your bathroom has a small window, you know, one of those tiny windows, you're probably safer in there. The reason bathrooms do so well is there's so much piping
Right.
and stuff. There's tile. Even if it's on an outside wall, bathrooms tend to do better. Now, if you have a hallway that's closed off in the middle of the house, that's your choice.
That's your place. You can bring, if you have our weather app, you can bring a phone. If you're on Facebook, we're streaming on Facebook. You can follow along, do somewhere safely if you could.
Yeah, and the other thing is just turn the TV up loud so you can hear it from in there. And then make sure if you have kids in the house, have them put on the shoes. If you get any broken glass,
We have some additional flash flood warnings that are associated with this system, but we have this tornado warning that's in effect for the Walnut community, Eden, Oakville, Salisbury, and all of these areas. So these looks like this is stacking up right one with another, and so we want to go in here a little bit tighter here with this particular cell, because it is really beginning to pick up more in the way of momentum for these cells to begin to push through our immediate region, because the cells have now begun to run or roll across one another in the early onset. So when we take a look at this and pull this back here, we're looking at widespread areas where we have the likelihood of some flooding that's going on. And we can see pushing towards the Laurel area. And this is where we're seeing right there. This is what we're looking for right here, to put this into motion for you and put our reflectivity up and freeze it here for a second for you. Overall, we're seeing this moving towards the east pretty steadily at about 35 to 40 miles per hour at a pretty steady rate at this present time. Putting this out of the way here. There we go. And we're noticing that we have some additional scattered showers and thunderstorms that has very dense lightning strikes over towards Whaleyville, Pittsville, Selbyville. All this is tracking over towards Ocean Pines and Fenwick Island. So those are the areas that are in alignment with this alignment of cells that's pushing through. Now, when we begin to be detailed look of what's happening with the area of the tornadic activity, is to the north of Wheaton, and then making its way towards Quanticoat and towards the Salisbury area, and then north of Eden. It's going to continue to track its way towards the northeast. And so with that tracking, we're going to go to our cone at this present time. And it begins to move its way steadily towards the northeast, moving at this particular clip. So we're expecting it to hit the Salisbury area by 10:45, Chesapeake Heights at about 10:55, Plainfield 11 o'clock, Pittsville at 11:17, Willards at 11:27. Now, for those of you who are our Spanish-speaking audience, what we're saying is that esta tornada mueve 35 millas por hora, talking about it moving at 35 miles per hour, condition de muy peligroso, looking for very dangerous conditions at this present time. Vientos fuertes, 70 millas por hora, 70 millas por hora. And we're talking about winds moving at the very least at 70 miles per hour. And we do have hail that's been associated with these storms as they push very steadily across. The dense amount of lightning strikes associated with this would also tend to give us to lean towards the idea that power outages are likely a part of the equation here, dealing with this storm system as it slides across the region and pushing across Princess Anne at this present time. And as we extend this even more so in the direction in which we're expecting for it to move, we are talking about it continuing to make its way towards Ocean Pines and Ocean City, possibly by about 11:35. I'll put this begin to erase this once again, pull it out of the way, so we can begin to reset what's going on right now. So at this present time, we'll go with our query just to make sure we keep up to date with what's happening here. We're going with our query here. We have the tornado warning that's in effect for Somerset, Wacomico, Worcester counties. It's in effect until 10:45, 10 more minutes at the very least. Now, also with this, we're looking at cells that are prompted and that have brought about a great deal of concern for flooding, because we also have some flash flood warnings that are associated with this system as well. Where's this storm, and where's the brunt of the storm, and where it's causing the most concern at this present time? What we're steadily seeing right now as we begin to zoom in to begin to narrow down what street and where is this located at this present time. It's really more so here. We're trying to get this to work out. We'll just reset it there like that. And then we'll zoom in here to our south. There we go. All right, so this is the area that we're seeing the storm at this present time. And this is where we're taking this into this area as to where it is located. Tree Nut Road. There we go. Upper Ferry Estates. Sims Wharfs, Ferry Road, Walnut Community, Shad Point, Fruitland, okay? So if you're in any of these communities, I need for you to begin to immediately take refuge to the lowest portion of your home. Seek refuge. Stay away from the windows. This is a tornado warning, meaning that this is an actual tornado spotted by radar. We have upper circulation that's happening right now, and that's what spotted this particular cell that began to prompt concern for possible tornadic activity. And if you're near the Ferry Road area, Upper Ferry Estates, Walnut, Shad Point, and the Fruitland area, this is where the storm is headed. And it's moving pretty steadily right now. I'm going to track it with our, I'm going to change the gears here and track it with a squall line here so we can get a more detailed look at all the areas that it could possibly hit in the short period of time that it's going to be moving its way towards the east here. All right. So the areas that it's going to be hitting would be inclusive of all those areas that are highlighted right here in purple for you. That would be right here, Stockyard, over towards Slaps, over towards Highway 13 near Shad's Point. And it will continue to track its way towards the Fenwick Island area. So look at that trajectory that's happening right there, okay? We'll see it. It's going to make its way across Salisbury. We're looking for it to make its way along Highway 50 towards Pittsville, and then over towards Whaleyville. Selbyville is just south of that, and then over towards Fenwick Island. It's looking quasi-linear at this particular juncture as it begins to slide across this region here and come out of the Whitgan as well as the Eden area, moving at a steady rate of about 45 miles per hour. As far as the damages are concerned and associated with this system, we've had some reports of trees, some hail damage that's been relatively minor thus far. But this is one of very few cells that we've been monitoring throughout the night. This spun very quickly, very suddenly, and really out of a lot of leftover moisture and energy that was actually beginning to make its impact throughout the area. And so it's continuing to track its way in that direction. Let's track it some more with our cone. We're going to highlight the strongest of the storm right here from Salisbury. Okay, so it's at the edge of Salisbury right now, and it's tracking towards the east. So we're looking at it hitting Salisbury. Then the next stop for the storm will be Chesapeake Heights. Following that, provided it continues with its quasi-linear trajectory, we anticipate it making its way towards the Pittsville community, then beginning to rumble its way over towards Willards, and then also beginning to push its way towards Whaleyville. Thus far, we have a high, dense concentration of lightning that's been associated with this. And so those lightning strikes have been fairly accurate in showing you just how significant those lightning strikes are. I mean, this is where we could possibly see some. Now, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more because this is where we could possibly see some additional problems with power outages that's associated with this. So we could see power outages from Riverdale Drive, Silver Run Lane, also Allen Cutoff Road, Cross Creek Drive, as well as Levin Road, and then over towards Lincoln Heights. Now, this is making its way into Salisbury right now, and it's inclusive of Salisbury. And so this is just how significant this is right now. We have some heavy rainfall that's actually also making its impact with this system as well. But generally speaking, this has been our only area that we've had an actual tornado warning that's been issued, and it's still going to stay active at least for the next 5 or so minutes going throughout Salisbury. Let's take a look at the camera now. What I want to do is I want to take a live look outside and compare. Here's what it looks like on radar. Now let's take a look outside with our camera. This is actually showing you what it looks like outside, okay? And as you take a look at this, we're looking at a lot of the dotting on the camera right now, showing you how that is highlighting the lightning strikes that's associated with this storm system as it pushes on through. It has been picking up momentum as it slid through the area very quickly throughout the region. And we are seeing the winds pick up some momentum as well. And then flooding has been a part of this system as it slides through very rapidly. So now we're going to continue to go back and forth between not only what's happening with the radar, but also back and forth between our this point of view as far as the live view, and back and forth between our radar and between this. So let's come back to the radar for just a quick moment so that we can engage on what's happening right now. So what's happening with the circulation? So we have an active severe thunderstorm warning in effect over here throughout Ocean Pines, Liberty Town, Pittsfield. So that's what this yellow circulation is about. This is the severe thunderstorm warning, in case you were wondering. But over here, right here, this red that you see right here, this is where we have the tornado warning. It's in effect. And it's this little point right here that I'm concerned with. You see that little nodule right there, that little nodule? That actually could be pinpointing a possible cell. So let me do this real quick, folks. Hang with me, because I need to make sure that I'm not seeing something that I'm imagining here, okay? You see, what we have here as one of our tools, we have here what's called a debris, okay? And I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm checking to see debris, all right? So debris is blue here. So we're looking to see, do we have any debris that's significant in this area that would indicate that we have tornadic activity that's going on pretty steadily around this region. So we're looking at moderate debris for right now. So we're looking at maybe this right here is indicating that we're looking at more in the likelihood of like branches and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily that significant. But we go back to reflectivity. That's our regular radar view, okay? And this is showing us that we have the most intense cell that's located right here near Salisbury at this present time. And we're looking at it in such a way that it's really highlighting for us the most intense cell that we can really pick up on. So where is that exactly? I want to go back. I want to go back. So we're going to go back here and push this up. I want to see where that cell is right now. I'm literally doing the investigation live, okay? So this is kind of what happens sometimes when you're doing the investigation live right then and there. Okay, so this is the area right here. This is the area right here that we're concerned with, and we want to know, number one, which direction it's going the fastest at this present time. We're going to highlight with our cone tracking. Right there. Okay, there we go. We see it's moving across Salisbury. It's right now downtown Salisbury, and it's moving in a northeast direction. So it's this cell right now that's pushing its way towards Melson. Should be there by 11:02. Whitesville by 11:13. West Woods at about 11:28. Let's switch over, guys, to our camera to see if our camera's gotten any kind of a better view of what's happening right here, since this is directly over Salisbury. So this is our Tidal Health camera, and you can see the frequent lightning strikes is associated right here. I'm not seeing any kind of funnel clouding that's happening right now, but you can see the darkness and the dreariness that's associated with it, and then the flashes of lightning that continues to stay very much a part of what's happening with this system as it pushes through. We have very gusty winds and very strong, very, very heavy downpours that's prompted, for example, some flooding concerns for portions of the area. Now, for our audience and occasionally I have to do this because we have to take into account our Spanish-speaking audience here in the area. So just give me 30 seconds to update them on what I've been telling you. Ahora mismo tenemos una inundación cerca de la ciudad de Quantico. We have possibility of flooding that's also near Quantico. I'm going to translate and go back and forth so everybody can stay with me at the same time. And right now we have a tornado warning that's in effect for the area. Aviso de tornado terminar ahora mismo. Also, now the tornado warning has just terminated a few moments ago, pero es un tormenta de muy peligroso, mueve noroeste 30 millas por hora. And so this very dangerous storm is going to continue to move towards the northeast at about 30 miles per hour, 30 millas por hora. Se espera vientos fuertes y lluvia fuerte también para un próximo hora y 2 hours. So we're expecting this to continue at least for the next hour and a half. Now, we will come back and cut back into programming if at all necessary. But right now, we're looking at it frequently, giving us a lot of lightning, mucho relámpago, lots of lightning associated with this as the storm pushes on through. Let's push it right back to the radar rendition of what's going on, guys. Let's go back to our radar real quick. And so this is our move for Melson as well as the Westwood area. It looks more and more like we are going to have to deal with some additional storms that's actually causing problems near the Smith Hill area and towards Chesapeake. Now, look, we've got a circulation right here next to Salisbury. You see that? This is actually along Naylor Hill and headed towards the Salisbury area, Chesapeake Heights, and towards the airport. It's just knocking on the door of the airport at this time. And we have another warning that has just been issued. Okay, and we have one more warning that's actually just been issued for the Ocean Pines, Ocean City area for just a quick moment as we get ready to wrap up. I'm going to go back over here to this warning right here. We have a new warning that's in effect for Ocean City, West Ocean City, and Ocean Pines. And we're looking at this warning to stay in effect at least up until about the 11 o'clock hour here. So we're going to continue to keep you updated here on the latest what's happening with these tornado warnings. Stay tuned to Coast TV. We are going to reset here at 11 o'clock to let you know what's happening with these warnings. Once again, we no longer see the tornado warning in effect for the Salisbury area, but we do have an active tornado warning for us around Ocean City, West Ocean City, Berlin, St. Martin, and the Ocean Pines area staying in effect at least for the next 12 to 15 or so minutes. We'll return in just a few moments. Our folks from behind the scenes have to they tell me that they have to break right now in order to get some things together as we retool for the 11 o'clock. So we will be back as soon as possible. But right now, we'll return to our scheduled program for just a quick moment, and then we'll be back as soon as possible to keep you updated on what's happening with these warnings. Once again, tornado warning is still in effect for us here in Ocean City, West Ocean City, Ocean Pines right here in Taylorsville, as well as St. Martin and the Berlin area. Need for you to take cover immediately as it pertains to this particular system as we begin to kind of reboot this. I'm Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. We now return back to our regular scheduled programming.